feels really strongly that there's more that can be done to protect people like Gabby, who were victims of domestic violence, and I agree with him, Governor DeSantis, based on his conversation that he had yesterday, 3:15 Eastern Time, with Mr. Joe Petito. This is going to spur a conversation about domestic violence, about domestic abuse, and more than that, how we can improve the system that we have in this country to respond to situations of domestic violence. Is it a problem with training, policy, not having the right people to discern whether or not a couple is in danger, or a one half of a couple is in danger? Do we train law enforcement more in this area? Do we update policy, change policy on a federal or state level? Do we add resources to existing law enforcement departments like social workers to be on standby, to be ready to help officers who are sworn to protect us? But even police, I'm sure many officers would say that the more the information that they have and the more expertise available to them at a crucial juncture such as the one that we had in Moab, the more help that they have to discern whether or not they think that there are troublesome signs, the more that they have available to them as far as expertise, the more that they can help prevent future tragedies. Yes, I think that law enforcement officers would agree with that. So is it about bringing in more resources? Is it about improving training? Is it about updating policy and enacting law? All I know is that Joe Petito wants to be part of the solution in Florida and beyond, and being a Florida resident, him being in Vero Beach. All right, let's get to the final two hashtag HJB questions and comments. Kathleen Fairbairn, hashtag HJB. Do you think that we will hear the parents' side of the story tuning in from Australia? I was talking about some of the folks in Australia and really around the world that are, what time is it in Australia? Hold on, I'm just curious. Time in Sydney, Australia right now, it is 10 in the morning. Hello to Kathleen watching and everybody watching from around the globe. Do you think that we will hear the parents' side of the story? I was talking about this on Instagram, and I'll try to take that 5-minute explanation and try to break it down. It's only human nature for someone to tell their side of the story. I think, my 2 cents, this is just me answering this question. I think Chris and Roberta Laundrie want to tell their version of the story at some point. I don't know if it's going to be in 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, or 5 years, or if ever. But I think that Chris and Roberta Laundrie, just like Cassie wanted to tell her side of the story. She came out to her front lawn and did a 20-minute Q&A with demonstrators outside of her home because she wanted to tell her version of the story. I think that Chris and Roberta Laundrie, likely, unless that they have something extremely sinister to hide, they want to tell their version of events, and they want to. It's only natural for somebody to want to clear their name and get their lives back. They don't want this to define the remaining decades of their lives. I would imagine it's only natural for them to want to tell their version of the story. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but I think that if it's Chris and Roberta Laundrie, I think that there is at least conversations being had about when is the most appropriate time for us to tell our version of the story, unless they have something very much to hide. That's my response to that question. And lastly, we'll end on this. Julie Brewer, hashtag KJB. I wonder if there is a suicide note in the notebook. The notebook is does it have the answers? Does it have the answers? We don't know if Brian Laundrie committed suicide. We don't know if he claimed his own life. We don't know. Maybe we'll find out. But you're not alone if you're wondering what is in that notebook, because that notebook might be the only avenue for us getting answers to, again, the top question. What happened to Gabby Petito? Who murdered her? Is the Notebook our best shot? Is it our only shot? Folks, our streaming coverage resumes tomorrow, Friday, October 22nd. We'll be back here with you live on WFLA Now and break down all the developments that occur. Right when you think that developments are over for the day, we get a development like this one. We're on standby at all hours of the day to go live here on WFLA Now and have a conversation with you. Again, the mission of WFLA Now is to feature what you have to say in our comment section. On political stories, we run polls. On other stories, we run polls. We ask for your stance on a various political issue or anything. We are always here spotlighting what you have to say. And that's what we do here at WFLA Now. And we appreciate wherever you are watching from. I don't care if it's Australia. I don't care if it's South Africa. I don't care if it's Norway, Sweden, Florida, New York, Wyoming, Utah, California, Alaska, Hawaii, Japan, China, Mongolia. I don't care where you're watching from. I appreciate you spending a portion of your evening here with us. The conversation doesn't end here. I'll be checking out the various social media platforms that I do. I make the rounds on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Discord. Big shout out to the folks on Discord, Reddit, and what's the last one? Instagram. I'll be trying to chime in with some of the conversations that are being had there. And again, to everybody watching, wherever you're watching from, thank you. The very latest for you is on WFLA.com, but we enter now standby mode on WFLA Now. If there's a development in an hour, I'm back here with you live on WFLA Now to break it down. And we don't know what's going to happen in the hours ahead. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen in an hour. We don't know what's going to happen, but we are in standby mode to go back live the moment that we have additional updates to share with you on this story and others. WFLA Now also covers all of the happenings, all the stories that break in Tampa Bay, all the big stories across Florida. We're live here with you to not just bring you the latest, but have a conversation with you about the latest. So going into standby mode on WFLA Now, also on WFLA.com, the WFLA app. You want to read the latest? Our award-winning team here at WFLA.com, at WFLA's digital team, working with the latest on Brian Laundrie, the latest on Gabby Petito. All of our articles live there. So if you want the very latest, go to WFLA.com, the WFLA app. For everybody joining us, thanks so much for being with us. I'm JB Buno. More ahead in the hours ahead on WFLA.com and the WFLA app.